Indie gaming is one of the best things to happen in the gaming industry. Developers, without massive budgets but unlimited creative freedom, can craft some masterful experiences that fans just can't get enough of. Consoles like the Nintendo Switch give these games a platform to thrive on, letting fans of quirky and well-developed games enjoy the passion projects of smaller teams. Hey there everyone, welcome to Game Rant, Geoffrey here. In today's video, I'm excited to showcase 10 truly wonderful indie games that are worth your time and attention. Let's dive into the list. Number 10, Shovel Knight. Yacht Club Games managed to crowdfund Shovel Knight way back in the day, and they delivered a lot more than their backers might have expected at the time. Shovel Knight is a retro platformer that has spawned various different spin-off games, and a lot of that is down to its great level design, interesting characters, and surprisingly fun combat. Not only does Shovel Knight have a great New Game Plus option that increases the difficulty dramatically, but it also has plenty of DLC available for players who haven't got enough when the original game ends. Pick up the Treasure Trove Edition to get all content bundled together for a great value and plenty of indie retro platforming goodness. Number 9, Cadence of Hyrule, Crypt of the Necrodancer. Cadence of Hyrule, Crypt of the Necrodancer is an amazing combination of rhythm-based gameplay and roguelike dungeon crawler elements that ended up being a massive hit across the board. The game's simple yet tantalizing gameplay loop, coupled with a wealth of amazing tunes, led to the title becoming a smash hit, to the point where Nintendo contacted the developer to make a crossover game featuring elements from the Legend of Zelda series. The end result was Cadence of Hyrule, an excellent Switch exclusive that fans should definitely check out for its unique gameplay. The familiar tones of the series have been remixed with great panache and let players rock out as they beat down numerous enemies to the tune of the beat. Number 8, Cuphead. Cuphead makes good use of the classic cartoon art style to display an interesting and unique storyline. While the artistic choices are what initially attracted a lot of players, the fact that Cuphead is one of the best modern run-and-gun games is what really made them fall in love. Players take control, of course, of Cuphead, while a second can use his brother Mugman or Ms. Chalice from the Delicious Last Course expansion in order to repossess souls for the devil, using a variety of different abilities in order to do so. It's a fun and challenging game that any fans of the run-and-gun genre will certainly enjoy. Number 7, Night in the Woods. A game with an amazing narrative that will keep players hooked. Night in the Woods deals with a bunch of anthropomorphic characters in the small town of Possum Springs, who have to deal with the many ways this place has changed over time. Now, it's a simple yet excellent premise that is further supplemented by great writing across the board. The manner in which this game tackles real-world issues is extremely impressive, and goes to show just how well handled the game's overall themes are. Players who want to play through an indie game with a great story will love what Night in the Woods brings to the table. Number 6, Slay the Spire. Slay the Spire is a fantastic roguelite deck builder that feels like it was built with the Switch in mind. Megacrit, the developer, did a great job of developing this game that can be picked up and put down at a moment's notice, something that the platform is definitely known for. A full run through all 4 acts can definitely take a while, but many runs will end before Act 1 is over, and of course leave players desperate for another attempt to climb the game's tower. With 4 different characters each having a few deck building options, the replay value here is huge. Number 5, Stardew Valley. You've heard of Stardew Valley, right? It's definitely one of the biggest ones here. Stardew Valley is the epitome of why many people enjoy indie games, as every detail of it feels like a labor of love. Now, it's a farming simulator, but it has so much more to enjoy than just that, including relationship building, mining, and some basic combat, just to name a few things. Stardew Valley has short days that give players regular breaks while also encouraging them to continue for just one more. It's a charming and fun experience with a lot of replay value, and Stardew Valley is one of the most iconic indie games for plenty of good reasons, some of which I just mentioned here. Number 4, Hollow Knight. Like the majority of indie games, Hollow Knight was made on a paper-thin budget by Team Cherry. Unlike most of its peers, however, Hollow Knight made a crazy amount of money for the small team that made it. Hollow Knight is a side-scrolling 2D Metroidvania game that takes place in the underground kingdom of Hollow Nest. Although Hollow Knight has boss battles that can cause players a ridiculous amount of stress, it's very rewarding for anyone who manages to stick with it. It's a challenging game for anyone, but perseverance quickly reveals one of the best Metroidvanias in recent memory. Number 3, Celeste. Celeste is one of the few indie games that was almost immediately a major success, and it's no surprise, seeing as it's a fantastic platformer. Celeste is full of fun yet really challenging levels, and it requires great reactions in order to progress all the way up the titular mountain. The main character, Madeline, is very well written, showing growth as she climbs and overcomes her own issues. Between the story and the gameplay, there isn't much that Celeste fails to do well, and it's easily one of the best indie games available on Nintendo Switch. Number 2, Undertale. Undertale is an attractive RPG that remains one of the few games to deconstruct the genre. Like many indie games, the graphics are relatively simple, but the gameplay is more than good enough to make up for it. The music is enjoyable as well, but the story is really where Undertale shines. It sees players take control of a small child who has gotten lost in the underground, a subterranean realm full of monsters. Choices made during the course of the game radically alter the plot, and different endings take place depending on how a player handles the various battles. Number 1, Hades. Hades was one of the breakthrough games of 2020, and remains one of the best roguelike games to this day. Supergiant Games really hit gold when they put Hades together, a hack-and-slash game that offers incredibly satisfying combat as players go from room to room searching for an escape from the underworld. The story is solid, and the amount of replay value that it offers can keep players engaged for hours and hours on end. Combine that with the ability to pick up and play runs on the go, and Hades is a fantastic choice for any Nintendo Switch owner. And there we have it, everyone, 10 lovely indie games to check out right now on Nintendo Switch. Now, in all honesty, there are just so many incredible indie games out there that narrowing down a list to just 10 was no easy feat. We all have our go-to favorites, which makes the indie gaming scene endlessly entertaining and definitely enjoyable. Thanks for watching this video from Game Rant. Have a truly wonderful and happy day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.